Hey, it's Karen here from Fit School. I'm going to take you through today a nice flowing Pilates workout. It's suitable for all levels, but I will take you through different levels and how we layer up the moves as we go along. You might find you're a little bit more comfortable if you've got a small cushion or a pillow or a folded up towel today, but other than that, let's get going. We're going to bring your arms up to the ceiling to start off with. We're going to reach up and notice how I'm just lifting my ribs out from my hips. And I'm going to slowly fold forwards over my thighs. My hands come down to my feet, my head and shoulders down. And again from here, I'm just going to lift on up, bring my arms up to the ceiling, reach on up here. Take a big breath in. This time, maybe bring your hands behind your head, those elbows out nice and wide, and fold forwards again over those thighs, feeling that stretch through your back. And then slowly come on up. And then one more stretch from here. If you extend those feet out, bring your arms up again, up to the ceiling, fingertips behind your ears, elbows nice and wide. And again, can you fold forwards? Tummy coming over towards your thighs. And then perhaps from here, just lengthen. Pick up that head, stretch it out from the back of the neck. Feel that stretch all the way down your back. And then come back up to seated. And then from here, I'm going to twist. I'm going to bring my hands around, breathe in. And on an out breath, lift up. Now, if you've been sitting at a desk a lot, if you've been doing things you don't normally do or working from home, it's a good chance your back feels quite stiff and just everything feels a bit different at the moment. So take it at your own pace. Come back again, twist round to the other side. Twists are lovely for getting that middle part of your back moving. And if you can just from here on an in-breath, lift up some more into that twist, you'll find you get a really nice stretch where the ribs meet your spine, and then come back in towards me. Now, wiggle those feet, give them a little scrunch up those toes, let your hands come behind your thighs. So we're going to start now, a little sequence to get some movement in the lower back and to start to get the tummy muscles warmer. So bring your hands behind your thighs, let your elbows just come softly out to the sides. And think about from here, can you get a little C curve through your spine? Think about sitting into a hammock or a kind of snail shape through your lower back, and then come up to seated. I don't want to come down too far. I'm just going to gently rock backwards, and I'm thinking about opening up that space between the bottom of my ribs and the top of my pelvis, but I don't want to feel there's any tightness around my back as I do this, because as I come back, I really want to feel this in my tummy. So just pause here for a moment now. Think about your head being over the navel. Think about the fronts of your leggings. Can you lose the creases in the fronts of your leggings? And imagine you are shining the fronts of your leggings up towards the ceiling now. And then maybe you'll be able to come back a little bit further. So you're just softly sinking into that move, opening up through the back, gently lengthening out all the way up through the back of the neck, and come up to seated. Let's do that again from here. So lift up here, take a nice big breath in. Softly on those legs, softly come on down, and as you come on back, I do want to try and relax the fronts of my hips, let them go. I'm going to open my hips up to the ceiling. I want to feel that my tummy starts to work here, but I'm not going to be fixed or rigid with it. I want to feel that I open my back up, and that's what makes my tummy move. And I'm going to just take a big breath in here, and on my out breath, come up to seated. I'm talking, so I can't breathe so much with you, but I want you to just take your time with your breath and not really worry too much about how you're breathing or when you're breathing for now. That will come a bit later. Now, I'm going to progress this. If you want to stay with your knees bent, then you stay like that. But here's a nice way of progressing that move so we really start to feel that work in your tummy. So you're going to bring your arms out in front of you, and I'm going to just reach forwards down towards my toes. Now, if you're not very bendy, it doesn't matter. What I want you to feel is that your thighs are coming down. No, your chest is coming down towards your thighs, and we're looking down. And then slowly lift on up. Now, in Pilates, there's often a two-way stretch going on. So I'm thinking about my hands coming forwards, but the middle of my top coming backwards, and my heels are sliding away as well. So fingertips and heels are going that way, but the back of my vest is coming this way, so that as I start to roll back, the front of my leg is still coming up to the ceiling, and I'm going to open up that back. I'm going to hold in that position. My shoulders are still soft. Make sure you've got space between your chin and your chest. You don't want to just tuck that chin in, so lose the double chin, and then slowly come on up And then we're going to come forwards, long through the back of the neck. Let's do that again. Remember, come back to that bend knee version if you need to. This is a little stronger if you want a stronger workout. We slowly come on back on that out breath. Rolling down, breathe in here, soften those shoulders. Is your neck still long? And then on your out breath, come on up and reach forwards. Now I'm going to take it to the strongest that I'm going to do this today. I'm going to breathe in here. On my out breath, my t-shirt's coming backwards. I'm going to open, and perhaps come on down now till that lower back is just on the floor and slowly come on up to seated. I'm going to do that once more. I'm just going to show you a version you can do where it's not quite so intense, where you just pop that cushion behind your bottom and then you roll on back and you roll on back. Now I'm not committing to that cushion, but it's there. I'm lifting out and away from it. I can relax that neck and those shoulders, so wiggle my jaw and softly exhale as I come up to seated. It's such a nice way of warming up the trunk and warming up my lower back. Now from here, I'm going to come down to the floor. I'm going to roll on down to the mat. Now if you come on down to the floor, and if your neck's a little tight at the moment, do take a cushion and pop it underneath your head. What that does, it prevents this happening. It allows you to soften those shoulders down. And we're just going to take a moment here to feel for that connection of those ribs down in the floor. So if you bring your arms up for me, fingertips up, I'm going to breathe in. Feel my ribs open and those arms gently float out. And then on my out breath, my fingertips gently press up to the ceiling, my ribs come together. I'm going to breathe in, bring your arms out, and breathe out, press your fingertips up. And now start to feel the back of your t-shirt drops into the mat. We're going to breathe in, bring your arms out, float them out, and then slowly press those ribs down into the floor. So can you feel that connection? Can you feel the way the ribs are dropping into the mat? So if your mat was plasticine, there'd be little imprints of your ribs right now. Now bring your hands down to the floor, soften those shoulders, and take one foot up to the ceiling. Now again, I don't necessarily need that knee to be straight, but you do want to feel it's over the hip. Now what's going on with this leg? What's going on with that hip? Has it lifted? Can you sink it back down into the mat for me so you're even across the trunk and those shoulders relaxed? And we're going to breathe out. Start to send that leg away now until those thighs gently come together, and breathe in, bring that leg back up. And breathe out, gently float that leg out and away. And breathe in, let that leg come back up. You want to breathe as you move rather than holding your breath. Breathing in. Now breathe out, let that leg come down, and I want you to feel now the inside seams of your trousers are gently touching each other. Can you feel that? And I want you to feel both sides of your hips are even on the mat, so maybe roll back over the other way. The shoulders are relaxed. How about those ribs? Are they still down? Now what about that lower back? If you had a towel now underneath your lower back, would you be able to move it? Or could you keep it pinned down? So you just want to feel that all of your back, now it's not pushing into the floor, but it is connected, so you can feel those ribs working. Let that leg come back in for me, lower it back down. Other side, bring this other leg up towards the ceiling. Gently send the ball of the foot to the ceiling. Same thing here, we breathe out, send that leg away till those thighs are touching. Breathe in, bring that leg back in. Slowly come out and away. Now I'd say even if you are very familiar with Pilates, just for now, for me, try not to take that leg too far. Do just pause where those thighs are connected. So now we're going to pause where the inside seams of your trousers are touching. Can you feel that inner thigh connection there as well? They're working together. Feel those ribs come down, breathe in. Breathe out, feel the lower back is connected. Imagine that towel under your back, you could move it. We're going to feel this hip drops down as well, so you're really strong through the trunk. So all of this is working, and then let that leg come back in and pop it back down towards the floor. Now at this point in Pilates, we generally do some rollovers, but because we want to keep this nice and gentle on our backs today, all I want you to do now is just hug your knees in and think about lifting your tail off the floor. Now if we were doing rollovers, we'd lose the cushion under the head because you don't want to make this neck tight in this position. It can be a bit uncomfortable. And then perhaps from here, so if this feels nice for you, that sense of drawing your thighs in, you could perhaps bring your hands down to the floor and just start to feel you get a little bit of a lift of that tail off the mat. So try and think here about allowing the pelvis to roll up and back. Now the strength now is in my arms, the backs of my arms, and my upper back. So we're not taking this into your neck. And we're in and we're down. And we're going to roll up. Now, if you're quite bendy, you might find actually doing this with a straight leg gives you a little bit more movement. And that's why if you are quite flexible, these ones are a little easier to cheat on. So we're in, use that out breath, come back down and feet down to the floor. And then whilst we're here, I'm going to come now into a really nice shoulder bridge. Now, I love to do this with a cushion. Here's my cushion gone. Because you really get that lovely connection through the insides of your thighs, and the shoulder bridge is so nice for your back. So have that cushion handy. Bring your hands down by your sides, your feet under your knees. Press the hands down. Now I want you to think now, are you sending that head away? Are you lengthening that spine? We're going to breathe in, and then as you breathe out, push through your feet. Roll on up and find a bridge position at the top. And as you find that bridge position, can you relax the tops of your shoulders? And can you send the fronts of your trousers up to the ceiling and slowly come back down? Now, let's just add a little bit more movement to this. If you bring your hands onto your hips, so your thumbnails are coming up to the ceiling, and if you physically roll that pelvis now, so your thumbnails come up to your ribs, and keep rolling, so now those thumbnails are facing your chin, notice how much more movement you get through the lower back. And if your lower back is tight, this feels so nice. And then breathe in and slowly, slowly, slowly roll down to the floor. And I often describe this as, you know, you're trying to get sort of popping plastic, or you're trying to get sticky back plastic down. You're rolling those bubbles out with your spine. Breathe in at the bottom. Breathe out as you roll on up and find your bridge at the top. Breathe in here. Slowly come back down. Now grab that cushion for me for the next couple. If yours is quite thin, fold it in half. If it's quite fat, just hold it there. But you've got to squeeze that cushion for me. Breathe in, and then on your out breath, roll on up and find your bridge at the top for me. Squeeze that cushion at the top. Can you feel those inner thighs? Slowly come back down towards the floor. Breathe in at the bottom. Now, can you feel your weight is on the insides of your feet as you squeeze that cushion, as you roll up to your bridge position here. Press into the tops of your arms. Hold there and roll back down to the floor. And now as you come back down, we're going to come now into the one leg stretch. Probably an exercise you're more familiar with in Pilates if you know it. I like to pop a cushion under your bottom as you do this, particularly if you're quite new to it, so that you don't have to really hold the hips in this position, because sometimes that can be a little bit tight. So if you've ever felt burning in the front of your thighs in Pilates, top tip, use a cushion. We're going to let your knees now float up over my hips, and notice I'm allowing my knees to come in. I'm not being rigid. We're here, so that we can feel that opening up through the back. And then I'm going to softly allow my knees to bend. So everything's still, nothing's rigid, all very gentle. And we press your hands down. Now, can you send one leg out and away? And we're going to push the ball of the foot away. And at this point now, start just drawing this thigh in towards you. So you're pushing that leg away as much as you're drawing this leg in to really feel that work in the tummy. Now, Joseph Pilates originally, way back, did this as a tummy exercise where you were kind of massaging your colon. So we did actually stretch this leg in. So you may want to do that. Have a go if that feels nice. So if you've got a little bit of digestive discomfort, this is the one for you. Or you can just leave it here and we ease the leg in. What I want to make sure you don't do with this one is send that leg far, because look what happens to the back. It's a lot harder to control. I want you to feel you've still got that slight scoop shape through the back, the ribs coming down, and the shoulders are relaxed as you come into this exercise. So we're going to just breathe in and breathe out. Last few here, in and out, and then come back down to the floor. Now from here, let's roll over onto your sides. I want us to take a nice twist here. We're going to take that cushion, bring your hands in front, bring your knees in front. Now, when it comes to stretching out through the middle part of the back, this is the king of stretches. I want you to take this bottom hand, bring it onto your top leg so that you anchor those knees in place. And we're going to just breathe in here and open up through that chest. Look over your shoulder and then slowly come back through the other way. And we're going to breathe in, open up, and slowly come back through. Now the reason we breathe particularly on this stretch is that as you breathe in, those ribs open up and they help you stretch into that spine and slowly come back through the other way. And then from here, whilst we're in this position, just take your arm up underneath that cushion. This knee's bent, but we're going to just float this leg up and away from the floor. Bring your fingertips down on the floor, and then from here, can you just slowly let that leg come forwards and breathe in, open up through the hip. Now, a few things that catch us out on this one. One, can you feel from here that that leg is just parallel with the floor? It's at hip height. Breathe out, come forwards. Breathe in, open up through that hip. The outside of that knee, down on the floor. We come in, we come back. Can you feel your tummy is helping you to do this one? Draw that leg in. Slowly open up through that hip. Once again, slowly come in. Open up through that hip and then let that leg come down towards the floor. Now, we can spend a lot more time on side work, but we're not going to today. I want you to come on up, come and have a seat, and then just reach that arm up and over your head, stretching out through your side. And then from here, we're going to come over to the other side. So just grab that cushion, come to the other end of your mat. Let your head come on down, your knees bent, and we're going to do that stretch on the other side. So this bottom hand comes onto your knee. We're going to just breathe in, open up and stretch out, and then slowly come back through the other way. We're going to breathe in now, open up and stretch out. Notice as well, one side might feel tighter than the other. You may feel this in the back of the hip. You may feel it in that chest. Breathe in, open up and stretch. Ooh, slowly come back through the other way. And then from here now, we're going to take that arm underneath that cushion, keep that bottom knee bent, extend that top leg. We'll float that leg up, send that leg out and away. Have you got some space here between your hip and your rib? Can you feel the tummy working? Here's a little trick. Take that hand, pop it onto your lower back. Press your lower back into the hand. Can you feel now how that tummy connects some more? Then bring your hand back down here. Breathe out, bring that leg forwards. Breathe in, open up through your hip. Breathe out, send that leg forwards. Breathe in, open up through your hip. Excuse my clicky feet. Breathe out, send that leg forwards. How much are you using your tummy to do this? Really draw in through that tummy. Remember that two-way stretch? You're sending the foot away, but you're also drawing that tummy in. We come in, we come back. Everything's very intentional in Pilates, whether we want to move and be mobile or whether we want to really feel the trunk and specific muscles working. Forwards and back, lower that leg down, and then from here, come on up, have a seat and reach over to the side into that stretch. Now, whilst I have you seated, we are going to come into your saw. What I'd like you to do, come to seated here, bring those feet forwards. If you're really uncomfortable in this position and those hips are tight, then grab that cushion and sit on it. But what we're going to do now, I want you to imagine, first things first, we're going to send the heels away so you get that stretch. I want you to imagine you're going to line down between those legs and we're going to slowly bring your body forwards. And again, it's not about touching your toes, it's not about bringing your body down to the floor, it's about movement. Try and think with the saw, it's about how much you can move your back. It's about mobilizing your spine. And then we're going to bring your arms up. But as we bring those arms back, can you bring them back? Can you bring them behind you? Breathe in here. Now on an out breath, we're going to take this hand down the imaginary line and we're going to reach this other arm back even more than we reach this arm forwards. And then we breathe in, come back up. And we're going to breathe out, reach, and reach down. And breathe in, we're going to come back up. And we're going to breathe out and reach. Now, can you now imagine someone is pulling that back hand and drawing your tummy in, and that's what brings you up. Breathe in here, feel the difference. Breathe out, come on down. Breathe in. Whoa, come back up again. Breathe in here. Use your out breath. Joseph Pilates described this one as wringing out the lungs. So you can really take your time to take a big breath in, filling all the way down. Slowly come on down. Breathe in, come on up. There's one more little variation to take this into the full exercise, and that's this. Stick with me. Imagine that line again. We're going to come on down. Now, as you come on down, my torso stays down the line, but my arm is going to come across to that leg. And feel how much more movement you get in that trunk. Breathe in, come on up. Breathe out, come on down. Send the head away, send the arm away. Then the arm comes across, but my body still comes down. Let's just take it once more each side. Breathe in here. Exhale, down and over and down towards the floor. Breathe in, come on up. Can you feel that? Breathe in here. Slowly come on down, 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 and across. And then lift back up. Give those ribs a little bit of a wiggle. And now from here, so we are going to come down now onto your hands and knees. Slight change of scene here. So come on over onto your mat. I want your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Let me show you one of my favourite stretches. We're going to come forwards and back. At this point, usually something clicks on me, but I think I'm warm enough. We're going to come on back and forwards. Now, it warms up the knees, the hips, the wrists, and then come around the other way, forwards into your shoulders and back into your hips. It's a lovely, lovely stretch just to get that body moving. And then whilst we're here on your hands and knees, come back into centre. Can you just let your tail come down and those ribs lift up, and we come up, up, up into a stretch. Imagine you're just trying to push something away and then just drop that back down to the floor. And we're going to breathe out, let your tail come down, those ribs come up, and we go lift, lift, lift up and drop back down. And as we come down now, we're going to make ourselves into a tabletop or a bridge, something that's really supportive. And imagine someone is sending that head away. If I were in your class, I would come around now, if you had a little ponytail, and I would stretch it out and I would lengthen it out. And the same with your tail. And as you hold this position, come back into your breath, breathing in. Those ribs are opening and breathing out. Back together. So you're breathing into the backs and sides of your ribs and of your body. And I want you to just try and feel also that you send those shoulders softly down. So you start to feel the undersides of your arms working rather than those shoulders creeping up to your ears. And then we're going to breathe in here again. And on your out breath, imagine you're a little bear picking your paw up out from the snow, and then we breathe in, we bring it back down. Breathe out, pick your paw up the other way, and breathe in, come back down. Now we're not rigid through the body, but I want you to notice your hips aren't moving. So if you had a tray, and on that tray, balanced on the back of your pelvis, was a lovely cold gin and tonic, you don't want it to fall off. Keep it nice and steady. Now can you take the opposite knee to the hand? Don't let that drink fall off. Breathe in, come back down. Still long through that neck. Breathe out. Breathe in. Now I often do this exercise in my antenatal classes where there's a little more focus on pelvic floor. And if you want to add more pelvic floor focus to this, imagine you're just blowing away a piece of fluff. Because the out breath really connects with the diaphragm, the pelvic floor, and the trunk. Last few here, just breathe out, lift up, and come back down. Now on this last one, we're going to lift, and we're going to hover the hand and knee off the floor. Think about the length through your spine. Imagine I was just gently pressing down on your ribs, and you're going to meet my resistance. Then take your elbow and your knee out to the sides of your mat and bring them back in. Do that again, but breathing out and coming back in. And again, we're going to come on out, come back in and lower back down. Let's take the other side. Really like to work in my Pilates classes to the sides of your body as well as forwards and backwards. We're going to breathe out, come back in. And it's small. Again, if you're used to doing Pilates a lot, you might find you want to really stretch those out, but keeping them small and keeping it compact really helps you feel the work through your trunk, so you don't always have to layer on. And then from here now, from your hands and knees, let's just lift up to the side, bring this arm up, the foot's down on the floor, this arm's going to come up and over, and we will lengthen out to the side. Keep that arm by your ear. Come back down to your hands and knees. And then we're going to come on up. Whoops, there's the hip. And over to the other side. Gently stretch out. And then come back down to your hands and knees. And now from here, a little hover. Now these are quite strong on the wrists and on the knees. So if you need to, if in doubt, leave it out or just keep those knees down and do everything else. So in this position here, we're going to just take a nice big breath in. And on your out breath, feel the ribs come together, and now, in fact, if you've got a cushion, let's use it rather than imagining my hands. You can have something. And I want you to gently feel that the pelvis lifts up in towards that cushion. So we breathe in, gently lift. So you have some connection there. Now, can you tuck your toes under? Breathe in, and on your out breath, float the knees away from the floor, but I'm still lifting my pelvis into that cushion and lower back down. You could also do this here. I quite like it on the fronts of my feet, but some people hate it. Breathe in, and then on your out breath, hover. Breathe in lower. And on your out breath, we're going to hover. And then just one extra option here, if you want to, and that's to bring one foot out and away. And we do a little half a plank. So on your out breath, hover the knee off the floor. Lift the pelvis into the cushion, lengthen that head away. Come down, other side, come onto your knee. Bring that other foot out behind you. Now I'm sending my tail to the backs of my thighs. I'm lifting my pelvis into the cushion, lengthening out through the head, come back down. Let's just come once more. Now I'm going to lose my cushion so that I can show you something. You keep yours. Send the foot away. Breathe out, coming up and hover. What we want to make sure we avoid is the Beyonce's work. We want it under and down and in. If in doubt, tuck it. And then in and out and down, and then come back down onto your knees. Now, I've got a lovely stretch now from the middle of your back. I'm going to bring your knees wide. We're going to come on down to the floor, and as you come on down, and it looks like a cat stretch, but it's not quite. We're going to come on down, and I want you to just reach those hands forward. Now, this is quite deep, so just go as far as you want to, but we breathe in. On your out breath, try and allow those ribs to come down to the floor. And we're in, and we are down. Slowly come back up onto your hands and knees. We're going to take a nice stretch now through your hip. Take a big step forwards. Come on in. Big toe to your little finger as we come on down. And then we're going to come on back and stretch into this leg here. Again, easy does it if you need to. Then come forwards. Back onto your knee. Bring the other foot forwards. Big toe to your little finger, gently stretch into here. Ease down into this stretch. We can go a lot further with hip stretches, but again, we're keeping it really gentle. And then back. And stretch out. And then forwards. And then come around, Poppy, come around and have a seat back where we started. We're going to bring those feet together, gently rocking from side to side here. Little stretch through the hips. If this is too much on your knees, just have those legs out in front of you. But we're going to come here, we're going to hold onto your feet and twist. And as you twist, if you can, just reach that arm up behind you, looking up. And then come on down. Bring your arm the other way. And then again, can you lift on up? And come on down. And then come around and sit comfortably. And a little stretch now through your neck. Let's bring your hand down. Sit on it if you want to. Ease over and away from that hand. And come up and over to the other side. Ease over and away from that hand. And breathe. And then from here now, we're going to bring the backs of your hands together, stretching out through the back, drawing those ribs in. Bring your palms up and your chest open. And we're going to take a big breath in here and slowly come on down. Thank you very much, everyone. In the next video, I'm going to be talking much more about fundamentals of Pilates. So we're going to be going through some of those moves in a little more detail to help you progress if you want to. But I will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me.